Hey everybody, my name is Jarren, and welcome back to an episode of Eye on Design. Today we're going to be talking about something that just happened on the 21st. Reddit announced that they were changing their profiles, the look and feel, as well as the functionality. They were making each profile, possibly, into its own subreddit so that people could post their content there. And this had a lot of people up in arms about it, but it was received with, mixed responses. There were a lot of people that seemed excited about it and people that also seemed very concerned. I made a pros and cons list, and I wanted to go over them because I think it's very important to look at this from every single angle. I am working on starting a video series about perspective, and that would be on this channel, but I also want to maintain a perspective when it comes to technology and when it comes to user interfaces and user designs. This is Eye on Design. So let's take a look at this. First off, one of the big things is Reddit is notorious for having users that aren't really tied down or loyal to Reddit. People tend to seem eager to jump ship if something bad happens, and that's really understandable because Reddit doesn't have great history with brand loyalty to some extent, mostly because content hasn't been on Reddit. There isn't anything on Reddit for people to stay for aside for the other users, and if other users go somewhere else, they're happy leaving as well. Now, this is not Reddit's main goal in making this change, but one of the biggest things, the pro for Reddit changing this possibly, is hosting content on Reddit. It's really important for companies and websites to have users come to that website. Now, Reddit is a little interesting because it sends people to other websites. People go to another site, they read the information, and if they like Reddit enough, they come back. Me, for instance, I go to the site, I read information, and I come back. But a lot of users would go and leave and never return. And that is something that is not necessarily good for a user experience, for business when it comes down to Reddit. So one of the reasons why I'm sure they're making this change is to keep users coming to Reddit, not only from Reddit, keeping people on Reddit, but also sending people from other sites to a user's profile on Reddit. That way, people can come and discover their content and see something new on Reddit. Original content on Reddit. Now that's a really big pro. This is something that most users, I think, should be happy about, that people can now post their own content. And they started this a while ago, hosting images. Everyone was using Imgur for a while, and then they switched over to using Reddit's hosting service, which has worked very well. And now people mostly host on Reddit for Reddit, which is great. Honestly, I find that very useful, and it's a more efficient process. And it makes sense for the company as well as the users. So that's the pro. That's the big pro. That's understandably why they are implementing this change. But the cons are definitely there. Reddit is all about privacy. For the most part, people don't know who anyone is on Reddit. Unless that person has their name there, unless they are well regarded by the community and known. Most people have throwaway accounts that they just make for the sake of it. So privacy is a really big issue here. If everyone has a profile and everyone starts being tied down to that profile to a greater extent with an image and a banner image and all that, feel of that privacy can to some degree dissolve. But we should also take a look at what happens on other social networks and how that works. Twitter, I think, is a great example of what we're going to be seeing with a Reddit profile. Right now, you go on Twitter and people have throwaway accounts and anonymous accounts all the time. They have images, a profile picture, a header image, but there's still that sense of being anonymous. And that's very valuable. I don't think that will be leaving anytime soon on Reddit. And they definitely don't want to lose that because they know that some of the benefits of having Reddit is the sake of privacy, that people can share their perspective on something else without having to give away vital information. And we see this all the time. Some of the biggest leaks of information have been from people on Reddit that post, hey, I work at this job and I see that this is happening, and I see that this is happening. I technically can't say anything, but this is a throwaway account that likely will not be traced back to me. Another really big concern is that the relationship between users will change. One of the big things that happens on so many other social networks is as people rise in popularity, as there's that larger competition for popularity, for more karma, to some degree, people become more popular and everyone just starts fighting for that. They fight for that popularity. And that exists to some degree today with Karma, but it's also very different because there's not often a face and a name tied to that. So there is definitely a legitimate concern about users fighting for popularity, though I already see that existing today, so again, I don't think that's necessarily too big of a problem. In my personal opinion, I think this is going to be a great change. I'm looking at this in a positive light, though I think it is the users' jobs, as Reddit always does, to voice their opinion. One of the really important things to me is that I am a content creator. I make stuff all day long, and to me it's a little difficult because I don't post very often on Reddit unless it's my own content. The reason why is because most of the time I'm in the background, I see posts on the front page, and that's the kind of stuff that I read. Everything that I want to say has already been said in the comments, so I don't often feel obligated to put my voice out there until I make a video or an image or some sort of design. At that point in time, I feel obligated to share it with the people that I care about to some extent, the groups that I care about on Reddit. I also know that counts as self-promotion, so I really want to be wise about that because I don't want to get my account in trouble, and I want to be an active, beneficial part of the community. I even have my own subreddit that no one uses. But I think having this profile, a place where I am allowed to self-promote all the time, is honestly beneficial to me at least, because then I don't feel like I have to get in trouble for sharing something. Right now I feel like if I go to share something to a subreddit, I could get in trouble, or people would just really treat me poorly for it, which is one of my greatest fears, being put down by people on the internet. But in all seriousness, I think that this is going to be a great change, and I'm really eager to see how this plays out, as long as the community is very vocal about their opinions and voice their concerns, and as long as everyone working at Reddit is definitely weighing out the decision making, we're going to see a lot of benefits from this. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you should also check out my Dark UX video. This is about the user experience and manipulative designers, and if you haven't already, you should subscribe, click the little bell icon so you get notified when I post videos. And I also have a newsletter, which I share behind the scenes information and a lot of cool exclusive stuff. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on Eye on Design.